episode 548 Brain Candy Podcast. We have a video version available if you're so inclined on patreon.com/braincandy, or you can just listen to it.
I'm playing with something and I feel
what
like
is
my
it?
ADD, like it's loud and I just, my mind, sorry, that was like an ADD moment. Now we're on video.
Right.
I'm like, what are you doing, Sarah?
I'll
Anyways,
allow it.
Yes, I cut you off. I see you're doing a beautiful intro.
How the hell are you?
I'm really good. I like, I feel very calm and very at peace. It was a little bit challenging to get back into the swing of things with work because, like, you go on vacation and it's so nice and wonderful, but the rest of the world is like, that's me snapping here. We need you, and you got, like, a whole bunch of shit to get back to. So that was a thing. And, now it's like, everybody kind of needs, like, the vacation from the vacation thing, but then, like, you get back, and I don't know. It's
well, it's kind of a
motion,
good
stage
time.
motion, one of those things that work.
One of those laws of physics.
One of those laws.
I think it's a good time of year to do that, though, because, even though you're not in school, the back to school, it's kind of like a new...
Suze, that makes tons of sense. I don't know if it's because their back to school stuff is like at the frickin' what's it called? The
Target?
Well, like Target.
Yeah.
The only place I go.
Right.
Target. But like it's got me in the mood to redo all of my files in my file cabinet. And I the other night came up with like the most obvious and brilliant way to organize my files that I don't know why I didn't see before. And it was like, oh my gosh, duh, do that. So now I'm like real excited about it and is exactly what I'm going to do after this. So crazy you even say that.
That's
You're
probably,
in my brain.
Like it's probably affecting your energy. You're probably just like chomping at the bit to get started. Get that label maker out.
You know how it like motivates you to... It motivated me when I was in school to like take really good notes that first week, to do all my homework and turn it in. Like I was like using new pencils. So I'm going to like do the same thing. And I know that I will just jam through all those notes I need to do all the things on my to-do list I need to do, finish up with all the stuff that I have loose ends, like blah, 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 blah.
That was
so
always
it feels
a fun feeling. Lincoln wanted to know, because I told him that you skipped a grade. He wanted to know which grade it was. I said
12th.
4th. Oh, 12?
Yeah. It was the last one.
You were like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, did you like skip it, or did you just take a GED and call it a day?
GED and call it a day. But technically I had all my credits.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was picturing you like...
everybody.
Skipping, when you're like Lincoln's age, like 9 years old, and be like, peace out, see you fuckers later.
No, I took like the upper division classes, but I never skipped a grade. But that does sound like something like braggy younger Sarah would go around saying to people.
No, I mean, I could just see you being like, listen, this is too easy for me. I gotta like move on here, people.
It was pretty easy for me.
You guys are dead weight.
Yeah. First grade was, I remember that being like, oh my God, are we doing like, can we
I never had that feeling ever. I was never like, this is so easy. Never.
It was fun. Learning was fun. I think
nice.
Because like my mom, like I was the old, we were in very different growing up situations.
Yeah.
And like my mom had the time and I was the oldest, and she was really putting a lot of energy into like creating that and like fostering that in me. And she was like, let's see basically like what experiments I could do on my child to make them, I don't know, smart or whatevs.
No,
she even like went so far as to feed me only liver for like the first, because it was like really high in iron. She like for like a significant amount of time she fed me a lot of liver, so I got a lot of whatever vitamin is in that.
How old were you, do you think?
Baby, like as soon like baby, like this is baby food.
Oh my God, she
like
is
while
cray,
the brain is
cray.
developing, like under 2 situation.
Holy smokes,
like
Sally.
where first off of breast milk.
Hey, it worked.
yeah, so what, and then it was like, then
you were on the fast track. Hands off from then on. She did her job. Now you do yours.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy.
Put a lot of work in the beginning, and then it was like, okay.
Wow.
Go.
Wow. Okay.
It worked. So.
Okay.
So you can tell him 12th grade. Just tell him every grade's important, though. And tell him that I wish I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like I should have stuck around for like the regular high school experience, and I wish I were a little more. I wish I were more confident in myself so that I could feel more connected to others.
How do you think you could have achieved that, though, like at that age? I mean, you really had the cards stacked against you.
Yeah, I couldn't have done it alone. It would have been like, different kind of support and resources. And
it's so funny because you were
therapy.
An achiever, but you had maybe like some self-esteem issues. And I was a total like mediocre non-achiever, but thought I was fine.
I feel like that's kind of how it works. Like that is
I guess so. I just started reading, believe it or not, a Brene Brown book. I didn't know she wrote it when I began.
Wow.
I just had it on my list. I don't know why. And I got it from the library. And then I was like reading it and I'm like, wait a minute. And I looked and it was her. Anyway, it's about being a perfectionist and like why you shouldn't do that. And
why you shouldn't do that?
Because I can see what you're saying, which is like, it's almost like that quest for perfection or achievement is born out of feeling like you're not enough. And I have it now. Don't worry. I caught up. But at the time, I was like, I am fine. I'm great.
How do you think you got that?
I mean, I got to give credit to Peg. I mean, where else would I have gotten it?
Both of our mothers in this situation.
Yeah. I just thought, I'm fine and funny and nice. I didn't care that I had acne. I didn't care about how I looked.
Man, that's great.
I don't know how. More importantly is how I lost it, which was called road rules. And being on television
called road rules.
And have everyone tell you aren't enough. Because you get that feedback that you never got of like what people think of you. And that can, be problematic.
Yeah. They stole your sunshine. And
yeah, but I
feel
feel like you went on the show and it made you feel good about yourself because, like, you realized you were super strong and athletic.
Wait a second. All this shit I thought about myself is a lie. Other people do think I'm cool.
Okay, so that made you feel like I'm cool enough to be on MTV.
Yeah. I kind of felt like fucking can it or big FU to all those people in like high school who were like, you're a loser. And I was like, oh yeah? Loser you are watching on TV.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I like that.
It felt very vindicated.
Validating.
What's validated? That word. Probably validating.
Yeah. Well, good for you. I'm glad that happened for you. You deserve it.
More than validating, though. It felt kind of like I don't know. And sometimes I wonder if the narrative that I have in my head of a high school and junior high experience where I was like a real oddball and like targeted by, and like bullied and it was like so traumatic or all this stuff is one that I've kind of like, I don't know, amplified in my memory, or if it was it really, because I remember specific certain things, but if you look at that over like the whole experience and I throw in like the positive ones and the good friends I have and like the friends that, I'm still friends with today that from that time, I feel like it's just like maybe regular.
Really?
I mean, is it just... I don't know for sure. Is it just like kids being... like teenagers... I definitely got loogie spit on me.
Oh, that's pretty... I think that's extreme.
Okay.
That's awful.
But only like a little. Well,
a little loogie.
I mean, like it happened a few times. Yeah, and the chubby bunny thing that really happened. So yeah, I mean, like there were a few moments, but all in all, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's like.
I love when you work through stuff like right in like real time.
You just saw that happen.
Well, if you want some validation, may I suggest BetterHelp, which is an online counseling service that you can access anytime you wish from your computer or phone or tablet. Does not require you to have to actually go into an office, which is nice. And if you're struggling with depression or anxiety or relationships, all this stuff.
Or maybe you hear us talk about some things on here, and you're like, I would love a professional to help me learn some of these skills.
Instead of these bozos.
You can do that.
That's so true. And this is convenient and licensed counselors and also not intimidating because you can do it at your own pace and your own schedule and all that.
You don't even have to be on video. You can do it on the phone.
Yep. Yeah, it's so flexible.
I love a phone session.
Do you?
To give and to receive.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There should be more of that going on.
Yeah, because I feel like I can talk better when I takes off the added pressure of somebody looking at you. I'm into that.
That is so true. We want you to start
when I'm in a session, like when I'm the client,
the patient,
not when I'm the
the client.
Yes.
We want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you get 10% off your first month by visiting BetterHelp.com/braincandy. Join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/braincandy. That was fun talking about that. Okay. I watched a documentary that I liked.
Now I feel like I hear an echo.
Ooh, on my end?
Yeah. It's not mine. Not me. A little bit. Go ahead and talk.
Hello.
Yeah, a little bit. It just came up. I'm on airplane mode.
I'm on airplane mode. Poor
that was
Sarah.
One thing Adam really
I know.
made sure to
He
stress.
really kept talking about that. I'm like, she does that already.
Maybe it's okay.
I'm going to let it go and pretend like I didn't notice. So, guys, if you're listening and you hear an echo, don't tell Adam.
Don't tell him. Shh. And you don't need to message me about it because I hear it too. And we're good. And we're working on it.
But not really. Okay. I saw a documentary that I liked, and it was on Amazon Prime, and it was about Val Kilmer.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of it?
This one popped up.
I recommend it. Well, I'm not a big, Val Kilmer stan or anything, but, he's interesting and handsome and stuff. So I was like, and then I started, you don't think he's handsome? Did you see Top Gun?
I think he was handsome.
Well, yeah. That's kind of what I meant.
I think that
he looks a little different now.
His time has been interesting to him.
He's 61 and he has throat cancer.
Oh.
So I think that has caused a lot of the physical changes.
Okay. Yeah.
Because his body seems like it's the same size, but he's it almost is like he's retaining water maybe in his face. So his face looks different.
Maybe plastic surgery decisions.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That changes things. So now I have more compassion and understanding. And
I think a lot of people weren't aware because it's not like he grew up Christian Scientist, and sometimes they have an odd relationship with medicine. Sometimes they do the old pray instead of go
get it taken care of.
I think he's been hesitant to talk about his ailments.
Yeah.
That's my theory. He didn't say that in the film, but he has throat cancer, and it's caused him to kind of not even really be able to talk. He has a whatever they call it.
Yeah, tracheotomy.
Yeah. And so when he talks, he has to put a finger in the hole of the tube, and they have subtitles. You can't really understand him.
For an actor and somebody who's that's a big identity
loss
and change there.
Yeah, so that was really compelling because I knew that he had some sort of health issue, but I wasn't sure what the specifics were. So that was kind of shocking. And they had his son narrate the film as Val Kilmer because they have a similar speech and voice. So
that's cool.
They show it. They acknowledge it.
Tom Hanks's brother, who does the voices of Woody in all of the cartoons and video games, because he wants his brother to have work.
Right. And I always say, this is why siblings make great musicians in the same band. Because it just works.
For sure. Oh, gosh. I should have asked Jordan to sing for me.
He's one of these people that was always filming from, like, the 80s on.
Yes,
so there's
always
a great archival footage from his childhood and then from all the movies, like, behind the scenes. So that made it really compelling. But the thing
was he one of the ones in The Outsiders?
I don't think so. He was in, like, Top Gun was his first big movie.
Top Gun was the first one.
Yeah.
You're Dangerous, Iceman.
Yeah. And then, of course, he was Batman at one time. And he was in, like, Wyatt Earp with Kurt Russell. That was actually a popular movie at the time. But, and then I think
that came out right around the time where when my little brother was born, whose middle name happens to be Wyatt.
I think that was a big moment for Wyatt.
Yes, it was.
But, like, he got a reputation as being difficult to work with and stuff like that. But, I think that's because he was a method actor. And I was saying during the film that I think there's a reason why the only people we know of that are method actors are white men. Like, if a woman or a person of color embodied the role for the entirety,
cuckoo crazy,
they would be institutionalized.
Yeah, it's what oh my God, what's her name? Who shaved her head? She was dating.
Oh, Demi Moore? No.
Nope. She was dating, I want to say she's a lesbian. She was dating, I want to say she was dating Ellen for a while, but maybe not.
No. Yeah, Anne Heche.
Anne Heche.
Yes.
She seems like method actory, and maybe there's a little bit of that, or that. Also, the other one who's just like my mom. This is a really fun game to play of what the heck is the word Sarah's thinking of. Oh, gosh. By the way, like, an aside, Barry was talking to me about the episode that I did with, when I talked about our trip, and he was like, it's funny, I was, like, finishing your sentences when you couldn't think of a word. I'm like, so is everyone.
Welcome aboard.
I don't think that's what he meant, but in my mind, I was like, yeah, I know, I do this a lot.
Welcome to
But the woman who won, she was in Nomadland, and she's,
yeah, what is her name? And was she in Fargo?
Yep.
We're terrible people.
It is.
Yes, I'm never going to get it. She's a real good actress.
She won Academy Award for Best Actress 2 years in a row.
All right, let me look it up. Fine.
What is her name? And I pronounce it wrong every time because I pronounce her last name. I add
Frances
an extra letter.
McDormand.
Yes. Frances. And I always call her McDermott, but that's not it. It's McDormand.
Yeah. What about her?
She's a method actor. She seems like a method actor type. And she's, I think, like,
I really don't think there are any. I think you're just saying good actresses or crazy. Like Anne Heche was just... And so that kind of illustrates my point. But... the part that was really compelling to me about the documentary was that, now that he can't act, he's sort of forced, I don't know, to just do, like, Comic-Con type stuff.
Why forced?
Well, that's why I said kind of, because it's like, I don't know what his financial situation is if he feels like he has to. He did say that... sometimes he gets in a real bad place because he doesn't want to do these gigs because it feels humiliating. But then he says...
There's got to be a financial obligation to...
It must be. Yeah. Because his dad kind of screwed him with money and stuff. So it might be that he, like, really doesn't have a lot going on. But he said that it tends to not be humiliating and that it actually is a joy to meet people that are enthusiastic about his art.
I think that is, there's a lot of truth to that. And I think it's kind of like that perspective thing of how you go in and how you see it. And if you can connect to one person, you know, who gets something from it, or somebody says something like that, and you can see the beauty in that, it's kind of like, is it what my high school experience?
Nobody spit loogies on him, which, you know, was great.
It's like, what a win.
I can see, though, how, because he said that's the perception, is that if you aren't getting any roles, whether it's for his health reasons or otherwise, that it feels like you're a loser and that everyone is celebrating your past and you wish that they could celebrate the future.
I was going to say, like, what's wrong with that? I think maybe we need to just, you know, there's so many layers to that when you really think about it. And you think about, like, how we're in this individualistic society that really pushes, like, you know, this, like,
productivity all the time.
Yes. Yeah. All the time. And you're measured by how much, like, achievement and success is this, like, very, I don't know, like, materialistic and three-dimensional kind of, like, goal or measure, whatever.
Well, the entertainment industry in particular, it's always like, what are you working on? What are you working on? What's next? What's next?
Yeah. And so when you live in that world, and, like, what's wrong with just having, like, if anybody else had a resume like that, and he's getting older, and he's sick, just retire. Just, like, it's okay. You can just, like, the hard thing is if they really financially, like, yeah, enjoy the next phase. Like, it's okay to do the, I don't know, not reunion tour, but, like, the, hey, this is who I was autograph signing, and celebrate that. Like, why not celebrate who we were and, you know, the fact that we were great at any time is kind of awesome.
That's why I love a one-hit wonder.
You do love a one-hit wonder.
I'll tell you what else I love, and that is WordTune, which is the AI-powered writing tool. But here's why it's magical. It's truly magical because it understands what you mean.
Yeah.
Like, how does it do that? I don't know.
AI, Susie.
AI! It knows what you mean, and then it'll offer writing suggestions that will help you get better clarity and compelling content with your writing, which is really, really fun. I love anything that helps my writing. You know what I mean? Because as good as you might think you are, you could always be better. Thanks to the robots.
Yep.
And it's so important now. You know, you ever get, like...
And Susie, not all of us, I'm sorry, but not all of us are writers like you. Some of us are just regular, and we need all the help we can get. And this is, like, wonderful tool for people who are all different levels of writers.
Yeah, maybe you feel insecure and you think maybe you could use a boost, and this will help you be more efficient, publish better work, and it can help your writing in general. I find that myself, that you get into habits as a writer, too.
For sure.
And this can help you kind of notice those things. And it'll impress your customers, maybe your brand, if you have a small business, stuff like that. But we have a deal. You can try WordTune for free at wordtune.com/braincandy. Are you looking to elevate your entire team's writing? Our listeners can get a discount for their team today at wordtune.com/braincandy. WordTune improves writing efficiency up to 4 times. Better, faster writing means better business. Start writing with WordTune at wordtune.com/braincandy. It improves performance on any project, everything from internal emails to press releases, sales outreach to customer service support, and so much more. You can use WordTune anywhere you're writing online, including Google Docs, Slack, Outlook Web, and WhatsApp. Come on. Okie dokes. So that's good. I recommend that on Amazon Prime, and it's free on Amazon Prime if you're a member.
Yeah. I love a good doc.
Did you hear about Barry, not your Barry, Barry the Central Park owl? This was an owl that was like, I don't know why, but it was very social.
Well, it's funny you even mentioned that because last night there was a freaking owl in my neighborhood that was so loud.
Yeah.
I was like, and it went on for so long.
Was it named Johnny Bananas?
Maybe.
Well, because as soon as you said loud and like would...
That's the first thing that pops into your head.
Yeah. And wouldn't shut up. I was like, I know people like that. In fact,
would not stop hooting. So, yes.
Hooting.
And I thought, like, it's only a matter of time before somebody in the neighborhood comes out and, like, yells, like, quiet out there or something like that. It felt like that was going to happen. Like, it went on for so long. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Do you like owls?
I can imagine a friendly or pesky owl.
This owl was just like really tolerant of humans, which I think is so cute. And Barry was the kind of owl that helped people during the pandemic. I think that's why this became a thing, is that, like, you know, especially in the early days when people were like still nice and everything of the pandemic. I think they would go out from their New York apartments and sort of go to Central Park, and then they would see this owl, and it was a thing. Anyway, the owl died because it's not funny. It had a collision with a maintenance truck.
Oh, Susie!
I know.
This is not where I thought. I was like all on board. Adorable owls. I'm like feeling all like creative and inspired. I was like, oh, I'll draw a little owl picture. That would be cute for a doodle. And then she's like, oh yeah, also it's dead.
Yeah, you missed your chance. R.I.P.
Barry.
And it's causing, like, there was a whole article in the New York Times about his passing.
Well, I get it.
Yeah, and it was describing the behavior. So it said that every evening, an hour or so before dusk, a group of 7 or 8 Barry followers, including these people that they interviewed, would gather in the ramble to watch.
First, I thought you meant birds, like other owls.
No, like people they interviewed for the article.
I was like, his little posse? I'm so glad they were spared.
These human friends would come out to watch Barry's pre-fly out prep, which I didn't even know was a thing. It would preen. They say her feathers, so I guess Barry is a girl. Preening her feathers, sharpening her talons, and doing a few owly yoga stretches.
Stop!
Yes!
Animals are the cutest.
And then it said, Barry would then invite her humans, or so it seemed, to accompany her on the first segment of her nightly hunts, flying slowly from perch to perch with occasional pauses in between as if eager not to let anyone fall behind. After 45 minutes or so, she would take off on her own, soaring off into the air as her human friends headed home.
I love her.
I know. Well, and she's kind of a show-off like us. Like,
yeah, why did you get me all... Why did you make me fall in love and then just take her away?
I'm so sorry. I know. Well, I think that's how everyone felt when she passed, too. It was just like... It was like...
Here's the takeaway.
Yeah.
We need to connect to more animals.
Yeah.
And...
They're not all so social, though, my goodness.
I don't know, but I feel like maybe if the collective energy of a bunch of people went towards one little animal, then they could be very social.
Well, I do think that things like this, when you have even in Central Park a couple years ago, there was that really beautiful mallard.
The beautiful duck, the sexy duck. We talked about him.
Yeah, and I think like those things can ignite in people who might otherwise not feel this way, a sense of like connection with animals. So it's not all bad news.
It's not all bad.
But people are heartbroken, Sarah.
I get it. I would be really sad about that, too.
Speaking of, how's Bo?
She's okay. I am noticing that she is definitely blind at night. Like, she had I thought it was just an accident one time because she kind of fell down the stairs a little bit at night when we were going to the bathroom, and she, like, races down. Like, I'm like, who are you racing? And every now and then she's like, I got it. But not like she's racing to go to the bathroom. She races and then goes to the bottom of the stairs and then spins around like I'm supposed to be chasing her.
She's
like
just worked up.
Yeah,
okay.
She's all worked up. And so she was going down the stairs, and I thought this was one of those times, and she kind of tripped over herself. And luckily it was only like 4 steps. But she was like, oh, like all shaken.
Oh,
and
no.
then there was another time where she was going up the stairs, and she like kind of fell. And I think it's because the light has been out on the stairwell. So like I just didn't turn it on, and well, because it's out. And so yeah, there wasn't the light there as there usually is. And so, but I mean, there was like enough, like the neighbor's lights on. You'd think.
Did
but
dogs
now,
get cataracts?
Yes, and she definitely has. She's got the cloudy eye and the whole thing. So that, and then I'm going to have to put her on some medication for some incontinence kind of stuff because she's like a little leaky.
Oh, man.
But as soon as I put her on like a medication or she gets like a little supplement, it fixes that right up. She's just an old lady.
That fixes it?
Oh, yeah.
Do they have that for humans?
I think so.
I mean, not that I need it. I'm just asking
Eventually,
because
yes.
It seems like that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good to know.
Yeah. But, she's just my little lady.
I love her.
How's Mr. Miyagi?
The cats over here are good. Everything's shipshape.
Ethel, too.
But thank God,
They're
because I was
so funny.
They're
They're like a team that hunts.
Yeah, one of them pushed the other one to be, you know how we have the balcony, and she pushed the other one off, and Ethel was hanging on for dear life.
No.
I watched her climb up, and it was like that movie Cliffhanger.
So
It really was.
What, did she hold a grudge?
No.
Was there bad blood?
No, we could learn a lot from cats. And we could also learn a lot about investing on public.com, which I'm so into. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend public.com because you can invest in stocks. And you can learn about what everyone else is, already doing, which is investing their money and making money, passive income.
Make your money. Make little money babies.
Yes! And I love that this site has so much more, or I should say app, has so much more diversity and inclusion. And I think that is so important. And you can, connect with other people on there as well. So if you're on there, you can find me. I just think it's a great system because you can get education about your portfolio and start investing and get cooking. And it can feel intimidating, but this is such an easy way to do it. And you can use our code BRAINCANDY when you download the app to let public.com know you're coming from the Brain Candy podcast, and you'll get up to $50 in free stock to get started in growing your portfolio. So even just if you want to do that, just to see, what's all the fuss about? And then there's no risk or anything. It's valid for U.S. residents 18 and over, subject to account approval. See public.com/disclosures, not investment advice. But I love it. I think it's so great. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, R.I.P. Barry the Owl.
Barry the Owl.
Okay. I read
I do believe that, that owl was definitely putting on the show for the humans.
Isn't it funny, though, how,
animals do that.
And they have different personalities, and some might be more hostile or afraid of humans, while others are like, yeah, come here, come watch me. I'm so cute. Just like people. Owls are people, too. There was a great article in the New York Times about the cotton tote bag crisis. That was actually the title of the article.
Is it a crisis that we have them, or a crisis? Oh,
it is kind of.
remember when we were talking about the things that you're doing that are bad? And it was like 10,000 uses to make up for like one.
Yeah, this article
Tell me about this crisis.
20,000. It takes 20,000 uses to offset the impact.
20,000? Holy mother of God.
So, like, you would have to use your cotton tote, daily for 54 years.
Stop it. Ain't nobody have any cotton tote for 54 years.
Nobody's doing that. And it wouldn't even be possible to use it every day for 54 years.
Stupid that we have been sold that.
Like, it's people with good intentions, including me.
What do they call that? Greenwashing?
Right. Like, it seems like it's helping, but it's not.
Is that the right term? It probably is.
Yeah, okay. It is. Because there isn't a lot of regulation about even, like, the verbiage of organic versus natural versus cage-free, whatever. All those words that you see on packaging, sustainable, will define that. What do you mean by that? And so people think they're doing the right thing, but then if you have 50 cotton tote bags, there's no way you can offset their impact. And they were like tracing it back to, in 2007, there was a British designer named Anya Hindmarch who put the reusable cotton bag on the map. She had a bag that was a cotton tote, but it said, "I am not a plastic bag." I bought one. Because it was so trendy and like,
oh my gosh,
whatever. And basically that's what began this sort of like tote bag, whatever. Craze.
Suze, we had that. We made them.
Well, and they even mentioned the New Yorker tote in the article, which I love New Yorker.
I love it.
I know. And like,
how are people going to know that I read the New Yorker when I go to the grocery store though?
Well, that's the thing. And companies love it. Love the...
Right.
Having the totes because it makes everybody a billboard. Anyone
my brother was walking around, Jordan, my brother, walking around with a Lululemon tote bag. And I was like,
with the red kind?
Me? What you doing over there with the Lululemon tote bag? And it was a big one, too.
Well, they are nice. The red ones?
Yeah.
I mean...
I know, but like...
At least they're not cotton.
Jordan. This is true. That they're made from recycle. Okay, so what is?
They did say like if you use something from recycled plastic bottles, like Rothy's has those, and other places, that it's better because at least you're reusing something that was already in existence to begin with. Whereas cotton requires a lot of resources like water to, make into a textile, and the ink that they use. On the bags makes it like so you can't compost it.
Okay, here's what we need to do. We need to turn them into other things.
I was thinking that.
Like adorable, like zippered little makeup pouches.
Nobody's doing that though. Like that is super cute and great, but like people are so
really
busy.
Easy to do. We need to upcycle more shit.
Yes. And I am so on board with it, and I really do try a lot. Too. My first go-to is to see if I can get something used.
Right.
Stuff like that. But
me too. And I've had, let me tell you, this kind of changed subject, but some really good come-ups at the Goodwill recently.
What'd you get? I love it.
Suze.
Tell me.
I got a silk Everlane t-shirt, like blouse, for freaking $6.99.
That's incredible.
It's still in the store for $88 right now.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Other thing I got, this is the crazy part too. I swear I totally manifested this. So when Barry and I were on we were on a hike, and he was like, I really want to find an antler shed, like a shed from a deer. You know how the antlers fall off.
Yeah. And then what do you mean a shed?
Them. Like that's what they're called. Oh. They're called an antler shed.
I thought you meant like a building.
That's the antlers. Like that's what they're called. So he's like, I really want to find one. And I was like, oh, we're totally going to find one. Hang on, let me. And then we were like chit-chatting or whatever.
She does this all the time. Anything you say you need, Sarah will be like, we're going to find one. And then she's right.
I get it. So I'm like, okay, wait, but hang on. I got to put and then we were walking for a little bit, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm not even I didn't even like put myself in the mindset of like, hang on, I got to like really put it out there. And so like I took a moment and I was like, okay, I need to get this antler shed.
Oh my God.
It's a week later. I'm at the Goodwill, walking around doing my thing. They wheel out a new cart, and I turn around. And there are 2 beautiful antler sheds at the frickin' Goodwill.
That is ridiculous.
Suze, it was like, oh, here, you want one? Here you go.
That's
and then
insane.
I took a picture of it, and I messaged Barry, and I was like, well, I should have been, we weren't specific on how we asked for it. He was like, oh, my God.
Was he dying?
I can't believe you frickin' got, because I made you know how I do when I'm like, hang on, I need to like, we're going to get this. And then we do.
And, hold on, I got to pour another glass of tea. I noticed that you said, it must have been a couple years ago now, but that you had tried to manifest something, but then you were like, I wasn't specific enough, and it came in a way I don't want. So now I noticed that you're like real precise.
I get real precise. And so this time I didn't say how, I just said, I want to find one. And it was like, yeah, okay, you found one at the Goodwill. Suze, why that's amazing is because you can't sell antler sheds in the state of California because I remember I had an antler guy, a skull guy at the flea market, and he's not there anymore and he gave me the whole speech on why he can't sell that stuff anymore because they want to not encourage, they want to deter people from hunting. Deter, is that the right word I'm looking for? Yes. So they made it so you can't sell them in California. And they shouldn't have even been there for sale. And they were like $8 a piece. I was like,
that's amazing.
I got 2 full, and they look so good on my mantle. You know how I'm like collecting dead things. So
I can't believe that. And I also don't understand why they wouldn't want people to hunt.
In California, they don't have the problem with like deer and other things like that. I swear I'm on airplane mode. I'm still getting calls. Who the fuck is calling me? Get out of here. But
she's had it.
Anyways.
Well, yeah, people. Yeah. I mean, they want people.
But that doesn't stop me from having. Look, a massive amount of.
Oh my God!
Antlers.
If you're on Patreon, what are you guys thinking of these?
I have more. This is an old antique one from.
Good night, Irene. It is like a taxidermist over there.
It does kind of look like that. I won't lie. And I was like, for somebody who like doesn't isn't that I'm not into hunting at all.
You're like almost
and these are, like,
vegan.
Not new. I've had these for years. That when Landon came over on one of our first dates, I had some skulls being bleached and. In the bathtub, I had like skulls that I was removing the skin off of. Oh. Could you imagine? I'm like, for the right person, I'm
you're the
real
right person.
Winner. For anybody else, I'm a freaking psychopath.
Well, if you're into kinky stuff or tame stuff, I have something for you, and that is called Dipsy, which is a wonderful service that provides you with sexy stories, whatever you're into. So you go and you download Dipsy, and then you take this little quiz, and you tell them, like, what gets your motor running. And then they'll be like, well, we have a story for you. And then they'll give you some suggestions. Or you can just kind of, like, look around and see what you want. They release new content every week, and they have something for everyone. Like I said, like, if you just want something soothing to go to sleep and maybe have sweet dreams, you can get that. Or if you're like, I got to bang later, and I got to, like, get things
Get
cooking.
the motors running.
Yes.
I'm into that.
They can give you that, too. They have wellness sessions, sensual bedtime stories, and soundscapes to help you relax, which is great.
Doesn't that just really help us relax, ladies?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean...
For listeners
ma'am.
of this show, Dipsy is offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipsystories.com/braincandy. That's 30 days of full access for free when you go to DIPSEA stories.com/braincandy. Dipsystories.com/braincandy. You're welcome. That's what I say.
I love a sexy story.
I
just love the voices.
What was I talking about?
Like that.
Oh, yeah, cotton tote bags. Totally different.
Right. Got way off subject. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, it's not
We got to figure out uses for cotton tote bags. That's really, like, how many, I wonder, are there out there that, what's the ratio of cotton tote bags to people?
Well, I mean, in the article, it said the New Yorker has given out 2 million alone. Just the New Yorker. So, I know. And, like, I've been noticing, like, I have more than I need. I use them, but, like, I have too many. So, it's a problemo.
I was a person that saved plastic bags and reused those. And now I'm saving reusable bags and using those. It feels like the same thing.
Kind of does. And, like, the reusables come in handy for sure. The plastic ones. Yeah. For, like, even just if you have pets, obviously. But
fucking A. We don't... It doesn't look good for the future.
No, we're doomed.
We're fucking doomed. Like, I mean, we're just going to have fun until then. It's not going to be in our lifetime. It's fine. But, I mean, we're going to do everything we can to, like, not contribute more.
Sure.
To try to, like, slow this shit
like
down.
Que sera, sera.
You know, right. But, like, it's not good. That's what I try to do, go back to, like, you know, half life in nature, half life. That's my goal.
That's all you can do.
Half in this world, half in the other.
In the, like, utopian.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I read a great article in The Atlantic about, it was actually about a family who lost their son in 9/11. And, you know, we're 20 years out. And they were sort of exploring grief, memory, the life that a person takes on after they're dead, right? All of those things through the lens of this story of 9/11. And, like, the two parents had totally different approaches. The mom, like, she really didn't want to focus on that day. She was more interested in, like, her son's life and, like, remembering him as a person. The husband really leaned into, like, the conspiracy theories of 9/11, and, like, he spends every day, all day, sort of, like, trying to solve this mystery of, like, what happened and stuff, which, you know, is a coping strategy. Yep. Whether you think it's a good one or not is a different matter. But
I think it's a very male like, it doesn't surprise me that
right, like, I'm going to solve this problem.
Yes, I'm going to solve it.
Yes, and then part of...
Sounds like I'm going to feel.
The focus of the article was about how, at the time, this man that died, he had a girlfriend he was about to propose to. And she was sort of like a loose end because she wasn't the wife. She wasn't even the fiance. She was the girlfriend. And the dad, at the time, gave her his final journal. And she took it and liked it. And the mom was like, can you... photocopy the pages at least so I can have them. And the girlfriend said no and, like, wouldn't let her look at it or have it or even see it. Obviously.
But the son's journal.
Yeah. And, like, the whole article, you're like, this is a villain. Who does that?
I don't know. I feel like maybe he has the right, if that's...
I mean, she does have the right.
Okay, but right, okay, yeah.
But at the time, before, like, they got mad about it, you know, right after they had the funeral and everything, and she gave a eulogy in which she said a quote that she said was from the journal where he had written about grief, and he said, "Life loves on." That was, like, the kind of, like, catchphrase of it. And so it became like a mantra for the family. Like, the dad got it tattooed on him and the mom got a piece of jewelry with it engraved. And it became like this important idea of, like, even when someone dies, life loves on. And then the journalist got the journal and got all the journals and was like, he just had, like, a quirky way of handwriting. It actually says life lives on. And, like, he had to tell them, like, just so you know, it doesn't say, but they were saying it doesn't matter. That
it doesn't. That's what
the quote truth of it isn't as important as like the idea of it and like the narrative.
The symbol.
Yes.
The intention.
And it
all
became
of
so
that.
interesting to like think about the ways that we create our own narrative, our own truth, and then the truth of like who was in our life and all of that, and how it's different for everybody.
Everything. Yep.
You know?
Everything. I was just having this conversation the other day that the more you learn about science, about quantum physics, about what really happens, the more you learn, wow, we are in control of our own reality, and we can choose what we want to see and what we don't want to see. And if something becomes a symbol that represents a concept or an idea, and we add words to that and feelings and emotion and intention and all that, it becomes really powerful.
It takes on a life of its own.
For sure.
Yeah.
We see this, and like this is the thing, is like these things are happening, and we are just like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll like, let my brain like default, like run wherever it wants to. It's using these tricks all the time, most of the time against us. And we got to jump in and be like, oh, wait a sec. Let me change my relationship with this. Like triggers and things that are like talisman or whatever you want to call it, like a thing that represent like this phrase, this like a mantra, are essentially the same, like two different ends of the spectrum. One that creates like negative feelings that gives you this like feeling of worry, and the other one that reminds you of positive things and puts you in the right mindset and controls, like makes you think the right kind of thoughts so that you can be happy, so that you can activate that ACC that we were talking about before that makes you creative. It's all the same stuff. Woo!
Yes. Yeah, and you can think of it as scary, that like there's no such thing as truth, and like your reality is different from mine, and they're both like, that can be very scary to some people, I think. But it can also be, like you're saying, empowering, because then you're in the driver's seat.
You are in the driver's seat,
and you can create those narratives and those understandings. You're not at the mercy of some sort of like mystical universe thing.
No.
It also was pointing out, like, how memory fails us. Boy, I mean, if you don't know that from, like, true crime with the old, like, I know he did it and it wasn't even him. Like the, what do they call that? The lineup?
Yep.
Yeah. And that we think for sure. I'll give you an example. Yesterday we went to Falling Water for our anniversary.
Oh, that was beautiful, by the way.
It's stupid how beautiful it is.
Susie, house inspo, the way that's done on the interior, like, you can definitely make that thing over the fireplace. I don't know how, but we can make that happen.
Right? We were like trying to get ideas because, our house is weird, and I was like, I want it to be weird like that.
Yes, that for sure.
But I have been there before, and I have memories of my time there and what I saw and the view from outside. Totally different than my memory.
Wow.
And you just think, well, that's weird. Did it change?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Wow.
And so our memories seem reliable. But they're not. And that's okay as long as you're kind of aware of it and can accept that you might be wrong about some things.
And what's the point? Like, I think it's important to ask, why do we need to hold on to whatever memory it is in that specific way? We get so much from being in the moment and being present that often the memories are where sometimes the pain or the attachment to idea or expectation, all of that come from, and maybe letting go of the memories of, like I have said to clients and heard in my own therapy, like, is this an old tape? Is this from, like, or a reminder, the person you're with is not your ex? Because we'll just play those, like, old tapes and old memories and things. So maybe letting go of the memories,
Yeah, like, it's that thing, and I think we should talk about it, or whatever that Lori Gottlieb book is.
Yeah. Maybe you should talk to someone.
Yeah, maybe you should talk to someone about how, like, we imagine we're being held captive in this pain, but, like, we're, like, going like this on the bars of the jail cell. We could just walk around it.
Just walk right around. It's fine.
Right? We believe.
Yeah. We're trapped in these old... Yes.
Yeah.
Totally like that.
And this is everyone.
Everyone. And that's what, like, I had that moment where I was like, wait a sec. In high school, was I really that? Maybe it was just, like, normal. And if I could let go of that, of, like, I'm the weird girl
who,
I
was oppressed.
And people didn't like me, and instead focus on, like, you know, I recently heard about that, I can't remember the name of the whatever law that says we can really only manage 5 close relationships. Have you heard this?
No.
Oh my God, I thought we talked about it on here, so I didn't even bother writing it down. So I was like, whatevs. But maybe I should talk about this.
My memory fails me too.
But, you know, and it says, like, we can really only manage, like, 5 friendships. And I'm like, man, okay, so I had 5 friends. We're fucking good here, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's solid.
All. What else? Yeah, dance card's full. What else?
Dance card. I love, like, antiquated sayings that, like, still hold up. It still makes sense.
They totally do. Dance card's full.
But, we do also create these mythologies about people that we love that have passed. And I don't know. I think from the article, it was a healing experience. The girlfriend gave the journal back and was like, I'm so sorry. She's like, I just felt like this is all I had because I wasn't married to him or whatever. This was all I had. And it was 17 pages. And they had been mad about it for 20 years, you know? So, like, you might be holding on to a pain that you needn't hold on to, kind of thing.
All the time.
Yeah. It was a good article. Let's wind it down, Sarah.
Good episode.
You always say that. You're so nice. It makes me wonder, do you prefer...
This one, I felt like we just, like, covered some stuff, man. I felt like I was in therapy. We laughed, we learned.
Sarah needed therapy after having eaten exclusively liver for a portion of her childhood.
My mom's going to be like, that's why you were reading before kindergarten. Guaranteed. If you ask Sally what she is right.
Yeah. She's not
There's
wrong.
some vitamin A, vitamin something in
K.
K.
It seems like one of those obscure ones that people are like, we're missing
something
it now.
Like
That's
that.
why we're
like,
all
you
idiots.
need that iron, something like that.
I enjoyed our conversation about how reality TV ruined us in completely opposite ways.
Yeah.
That was fun.
So super interesting.
And Val Kilmer is a fascinating study of, like, aging star situation. I'm just waving to my neighbor, Jake, my nephew. Driving up. I didn't want the patrons to be like, why is she waving?
Hi,
let's see. Oh, we talked about Barry the owl.
Yeah, R.I.P. Susie made me fall in love with something, and then she murdered
Snatched it away.
I might be the one with all the skulls, but Susie's the one.
The dead heart.
That was funny.
Sarah got antlers at Goodwill. Fantastic.
Super good come up. Yeah. And I think that you guys might be in luck because I think that the shirt that I got is a little bit too big for me. So you might see this on Poshmark.
You'll get a profit.
For still more than 50% off because I felt like I got it for such a good deal.
Before the episode comes out. Because then they'll be like, she only paid $6.50 for this.
No, but also there's another one in there being sold for like a ton of money, and I was like, I feel bad even.
Yeah.
So like I put it at like $24 or something. You guys are gonna get it for a steal.
Don't forget to check out our merch to fund Sarah's Goodwill habit.
Yes, I need that.
And our patreon.com/braincandy, and just subscribe. It means so much to us. Let us know if you
watch the video version where maybe I hold up weird things that are in my room.
I can confirm that did happen. And we'll see you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.